From episode 8, Holland&Hobbs. How was your weekend?
Very.
How was your Saturday? How about that?
Very relaxed.
Relax.
Yeah, we're in day 742 of the government shutdown. And so we've just been laying low. Um, my child's telling everyone that we're broke because we don't have Wyatt doesn't have a job. She's like, sorry, we can't go. We're broke. Wyatt doesn't have a job. I'm like, we're just trying to conserve financially because we don't know when the next paycheck's gonna be.
You know, it's a good excuse not to spend money right now to get around. Like maybe whenever we get back, whenever we get back in the government session, keep that going a while longer. So
I'm sure Wyatt would love that.
I love you carrying that. That I'm not working on that.
I will say that it seemed kind of like a death sentence at first. Only because I don't really like to be told we have to say not spend money, even though it wasn't like you're not allowed to spend money. It wasn't told to me like rudely or anything. It was just kind of like common sense. But it's funny, like I don't spend that much money on a regular basis anyway. So I've just been being extra cautious, and I'm doing a fantastic job of not spending money if I do say so myself.
Well, apparently, for the Speaker of the House, he's saying this is probably going to shut down.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's not too hopeful.
And so far, the longest has been 35 days.
Which was by who?
Trump.
Which, coincidentally, I passed going down Highway 72, and I don't know who behind these billboards, but they had the Trump quote about government shutdowns that's due to leadership of the president. It's a billboard the one by Wendy's up on 72.
That used to say "Stand with Ukraine" or whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder who was behind those. It's like, hey, well done.
I wondered that too. I'm like, Gavin Newsom, is that you? Is that you dropping a billboard in Athens, Alabama?
I haven't seen them in like Huntsville and where else. Like, I see them in Athens.
There's 2 or 3 in Athens, right?
Yeah, it's
At
the one. It's the one in Mooresville.
Yep.
And it's the one right there at 72 by McDonald's.
Okay. Yep.
So I wonder who's running these billboards and that.
Hey, if that's you, reach out to us. Maybe we can do some advertising together.
Because they've also had the Epstein thing on the billboards too as well.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's
probably because I try not to leave the house with it.
It's photos of him and Epstein on the billboard.
I love that.
I was just saying. I do wonder. Hey,
if you're looking for an advertising opportunity, we can keep your name on the DL.
I will not tell a soul.
Not tell a soul. And we've garnished a lot of attention lately. I never realized how many haters are out there.
How valuable your opinion is.
Yes. Also, I was told someone hates to hear my voice because I can't articulate. So that was really sweet. Thank you. It's so romantic.
But I was saying, it goes both ways. Being Southerners. Some people will say Southern people sound uneducated, ignorant. But then the other side, some people will be like, I love a Southern accent.
Well, and I personally would sell my Southern accent in an instant. I can't stand it. I can't get rid of it. I've tried. I've even tried to these free voice, how to change your speech where you're speaking in the mirror and you're like
voice acting,
and you're and so that didn't work obviously. But I know my strengths and weaknesses, and while my accent does suck, I know I articulate because I always have tried to overcompensate for you're not going to tell me I sound uneducated because I am educated and I worked hard for that education and I love to read and I love all that stuff. So I think sometimes though, especially on here, I might stumble over words a little, either because I'm trying to recall something, but mainly because I feel like sometimes I can't say exactly what I'm thinking or would like to say. I have to kind of tiptoe around it a little bit because we try to keep it like a family program. We try to keep it kosher. We try to not be too. I never want to be a crazy person.
Not put it in extreme.
Yeah, we're not trying to be extremist. So sometimes I have to work real hard for that filter because it's not like a natural filter. It's I have to work towards it. But thank you for listening. We love all of you, even our haters.
Heck yeah, it keeps engagement going. But like I said, hey, some of the haters, let us know. Like I said, we enjoyed that feedback, that conversation. I might agree with you, I might not agree with you.
Well, I will give a disclaimer too. When I agreed to do this podcast, I said I will have conversations with you. I'm not engaging. I'm not gonna like obsess over like what people say or comments or anything. So and he will message me because I've gone on Facebook, so I'm not seeing a lot of. And I'm not a good TikToker. I'm just really not that good at social media, honestly. So he'll send me screenshots and I know he's trying to like fire me up. He's trying to fire me up so that I'll be like, okay, fine, I'm coming on there to comment back on this one. Nope, not doing it. Like, there was a quote I heard one time that I love so much, and it is a lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep.
Hmm. Well, it don't look like the shutdown is going to end anytime soon. That said,
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson, he said over the past couple of days, the most threatening thing he's seen yet was the naked courtroom bikers. So, naked women on bikes was the most threatening thing that he's seen. So, it don't seem like we're close seeing it yet.
I did, or Wyatt was telling me today he read, and I don't know where he read it. It might just be rumor or speculation. He did say that there were representatives that were, and Dale Strong, our representative, was one of them that said they were looking at doing like individual appropriations so that they could at least send some entities back to work, which is trash because while we would love to go back to work, if you can reach agreements on some but not all, then you're purposefully holding back this. Like, either y'all can come to some agreements or you can't, but don't be picking and choosing the agencies where your constituents are the maddest, like i.e. the farmers. So USDA is one that they're looking at. Like, well, maybe we'll fund USDA.
So, speaking of farmers, USDA, and our government being shut down, the most interesting thing that's happened, which a lot of people, they like to complain, but they're not complaining about this at all, is that we bailed out Argentina while we're shut down. So Trump granted Argentina $20 billion.
Saw that.
20 billion, and that's fairly raised a lot of red flag farmers and the USDA because okay, why are you giving Argentina $20 billion while we got people here struggling, people here that are currently out of work, but you giving another country 20 billion?
Well, why are you doing a lot of things and we're struggling? Why is the ballroom continuing to be built? The list goes on literally forever, but yet we are struggling. Like, we have to, as my 11-year-old puts it, be broke.
So the bailout for Argentina, it was a financial lifeline. So it was supposed to be a currency swap to prop up the Argentina peso. So we're trying to save the Argentinian economy essentially.
Yeah, the dollar's plummeting.
While our own is suffering.
Mm-hmm. We're not even in the top 10 most powerful passports anymore. Did you read that?
See, oh man, I'm glad you said that. So I had a conversation this morning with someone about that, and they were essentially saying that America's back. People respect us, yada yada yada. And I literally commented to the person. I said, hey, this just happened. Like, a whole bunch of screenshots, headlines of our passports now dropping out in the top 10. It's like, what does that do with us? That means people are not coming here. People don't want to come here.
We're becoming kind of irrelevant.
They're avoiding us.
Right.
They're giving travel advisories. Don't go to America.
And I was we were talking about it the other day, and I said, I think about like the reputation that Germany got after World War II, where for years and years, and like so many people, Germans were like, I didn't know anything about it, and I don't think they were. I mean, some people were probably denying the Holocaust happened, but I think maybe back then, maybe people genuinely didn't know the extent of everything that was going on. And so people mistook that as you were just letting it happen. but there was not that wealth of information back then, right?
Mhm.
Thankfully now, at least people around the world don't view America as a whole, as far as like they're not assuming we all are on board with this, because they know how a lot of people are fighting back and protesting, and it that because of social media and all these things, they're not just focusing on what the media says, because we can't trust those fools. So you've got all these independent journalists now, and like TikTok people, and kind of telling the real story, which is nice. So at least we're not all grouped in together.
I do think there's a sense of people that do. I think people are worried about Americans. You look at some global headlines. Some of them say, "Do they not realize what's going on?" I saw a couple of a couple from Germany was saying that. A couple of journalists like, "Do they not realize what's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, we do."
Oh, we do. Trust me. Oh, I saw something, speaking of like an anti people not feeling super patriotic right now. I don't know what else you call it. But so they're still doing the baseball playoffs. And I saw a guy the other day that was a Yankees fan that said it was right after the Yankees lost to Toronto and got put out. And he said, normally anybody, I would like be very against whoever put the Yankees out. He's like, this year, he's like, I got a plan. He's like, we're all gonna get behind Toronto because they're the one MLB team that's from Canada. And like, he's like, how symbolic would that be if like the team that won the World Series this year was the team from Canada? Just as like symbolic of how terrible things are. I don't think they're gonna beat the Mariners, but it still was just kind of like that mindset.
I don't think the Dodgers going to lose the World Series. I'm going all the way to the end. And I think the Dodgers got it. Yeah, other conversation.
Another conversation. That's just simpler times when all we had to worry about was who was in the baseball playoffs.
Funny enough, baseball, I was talking to someone, and speaking of all this that's going on, part of the one conversation with DEI, and I was saying to him, I was like, you realize like to me, part of the issue that it's really mainly conservative men who have the DEI. It's not that they feel like they're being told that they're losing their spots, they're losing their positions on the color or woman. They feel like that their place is being taken. It's not that their place is being taken. They're getting competition. They're afraid of them letting other competition come in. I brought up baseball. Babe Ruth, he should have won the greatest ever. He played against other white men. So I mean, was he the best ever? Was he one of the best, or was he just the best among his competition at the time?
Well, okay. So my thing with that with baseball is baseball is one of those sports that's evolved a ton,
Yes.
but it also in some ways hasn't changed. But what has changed are the way that like the build of baseball players, their bats. I mean, you had like the torpedo bat introduced this year. The first time like a bat has been changed up in ever, because it's always been a wooden bat. Still a wooden bat, just like in some or shaped differently. Um, I mean, you had that whole time period of steroid usage where there's the guys that have all the top records with the asterisks by their name. Do not get me started on that.
That was the good era.
Do not get me started on that.
Listen, you still got to hit the ball. At the end of the day, you got to hit the ball. You still got to swing.
I'm sorry, but like...
You got to swing, you got to make contact, and it got to stay fair.
And you have to not take performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah. Like, that's also part of it, though.
It's a hand-eye. It's still hand-eye.
Because nowadays,
don't help your hand-eye.
These guys get tested a ton, and you've got standout players that are still getting really close to those records with no drugs. Like, they're just naturally talented. So it really does take away from the integrity of the sport. But either way, I think you can't really compare. I mean, Babe Ruth was like an alcoholic. He took terrible care of his body. But at the time, he was great.
Who would you say was that DEI baseball was for?
A ton, because...
let's go to the original.
Oh, Jackie Robinson? Yeah.
How many white players didn't want him there?
I
How many
still-
were afraid? They thought he was taking their spots.
I still cry like a baby when I watch that movie. Like,
yes.
Or when they honored Hank Aaron, and his wife was there at the Braves game, earlier. Without people of color in baseball, it would just be garbage because it's called America's pastime for a lot of reasons, and one of them is because it celebrates all people.
Jackie Robinson was one of the original DEI hires.
Mhm.
A lot of white men back there were afraid of him too. They didn't want him in their sport,
Absolutely.
in their industry. And that continues in 2020, 2025. We still have the same thing. People of color trying to get into spaces and conservative men afraid that they're going to take those spots.
I mean, that's, a tale as old as time too, because you've got all these people that are like, oh, I'm glad they got rid of that, blah, blah, blah. But then when it comes to some Roll Tide football on Saturdays, you're all about that one recruit, the really good, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so which is it? Like, you do want them to get the jobs or you don't? Or is it just if it affects you, like if you think they're taking your spot?
And what they did, honestly, because it was part of Charlie Kirk's mission. They tried to make it seem like DEI was somehow, if I was coming into a job, I have lesser qualification than you, when actually I got the same qualification. I'm just now, they're giving me an opportunity to talk. It's no different in NFL. They got the loyal rule. It's so that they can put black coaches to get the opportunity to at least have an interview. There's a lot of coaches that have gotten chances who might not have because the loyal rule put them in front of people that they need to be in front of, the owners, that, oh, this dude actually is a pretty good dude.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks pretty well. Maybe he could be a head football coach, and they got the opportunity because of that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, even as a woman, I've been, not given fair shots at times, and I've worked predominantly in a male industry with construction, and it's just not fair.
Well, as their own,
it's 10 steps backwards, honestly.
As their own, being a woman, Marjorie Taylor Greene said, "There is a lot of weak Republican men." Don't come at me. That's what she said.
Oh, Marjorie.
I'm just calling Marjorie. There's a lot of weak Republican men. She's been on it this week. This past week, she's been on it.
I will say this about her. I bet she sleeps with one eye open for real.
You know what crazy times are? Is that at times this year, I've agreed with the Jews have a space like one.
Oh, I saw people. Yeah, they would have thought.
When I'm agreeing at times with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it is wild. And it's not even just this. The insurance, the healthcare thing. I got agree with her earlier this year in Israel, and we need to get out of Israel.
Okay, but
it's a lot, it's several things she's been on here lately. I'm like, dang, Marjorie.
But if she who is seemingly a very unreasonable human,
she's been seen in that way.
But if she can speak up and say these things that, I mean, it's not rocket science what she's saying, but it's just, why is nobody else speaking up and saying these common sense things?
She has become the voice of reason.
And that is a sad state of affairs. But hey, you keep doing you, Marjorie.
Keep doing you, Marjorie, for real.
I mean, we didn't forget who you are, but
like I said,
you're not wrong about everything.
I just can't believe that. But the crazy part is the Republican side of it, they're going to discredit her now because they're going to say, "Oh, she's a crazy lady."
That's fine. You know what? All we need is for them to discredit several, and then you put them on the other side, and then we can start getting some stuff done.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Crazy. No, I guess it wasn't crazy. We record here on the next to the courthouse. Night before we set to record, we started seeing videos circling around social media, and it was a man outside the courthouse naked.
Yep.
Now,
real naked.
I mean, he had it all out. And at first, I thought, okay, they made this like an elderly guy having a mental episode. Apparently, he was just intoxicated.
Well,
decided to get naked.
It could just be plain intoxication, or there could be a little bit of mental health issue as well.
It could have been both.
Because, I mean, what person drinks like that? But then they're like, I think I'm going to get butt naked out there on the courthouse steps. And his hands were real shaky, too. So I have to think there was more than just alcohol involved. Either way, he was very naked.
And I would say this: I saw some people kind of criticize the cop. I'm like, I thought the cop handled it well. It's like,
Yeah, A plus.
yeah,
Because I mean, I feel like sometimes the police officers kind of have a bad rap for like, and it's not here. I've never witnessed anything here that I thought was like shady, but in some places, they really have a bad reputation for how they handle things.
the few bad apples ruined the whole bunch.
And I thought how this guy handled that was perfect. Like he was authoritative, but he was compassionate, and he was also like, "Hey, calm down, don't get too close." Like, but it was almost like, "Why are you naked?" Like,
That's how he said it, like an uncle. Because like, I saw someone say, "Why did he yell at him?" Like, no, he's saying it loud enough in a tone so that he's clear to the guy and he doesn't have to get close to the guy. Because you don't want to show up in that man's name. Be like,
the jump was out.
You want a good distance from that.
Yeah.
But I also want you to hear what I'm saying.
Also, side note, thought it was hilarious the guy that recorded it, who you're like thinking, who's recording this? And then like you hear him shout, his car's over on the other side. So like I'm like, how long have you been watching this, man?
That was my issue with it. I'm like, there's no decency because I'm not gonna record this man. It's clearly his weekend moment right now, naked on the courthouse, and post it to my social media. I don't want this man Bush on my Facebook page. That means every time I open my Facebook, this man Bush is on my Facebook.
Or like, I don't even really want to be associated with like I stood around and watched it like his junk.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like while he was turning around and all.
Like I saw the video, like I wasn't gonna share it, I wasn't gonna post it. None of that. I don't want this on my Facebook page.
No, absolutely.
It's like so to me that also shows zero decency at all that we have now. Everything recording and we just post it. No, I'm not posting that. I'm not sharing.
No.
I don't.
But props to the Athens police officer who handled that with like a lot of dignity and grace.
Because honestly, I don't think. I mean, I know they're doing better now, but they're really not trained to handle situations like that.
Well, who is prepared for that?
You're not on your nightly routine patrol, and you get a call, naked man in the courthouse.
Just a thought, APD. Maybe y'all put like a blanket or something in y'all's trunk, so if that happens again, you can be like, "Here you go."
Not real for yourself too as well. Let me not make sure when I'm escorting you that they don't whip around and hit me.
That and like also in case there are people watching, like. You're not prolonging the nakedness.
Yeah,
Maybe children might be around. I don't, like.
Right here at the courthouse, all the restaurants still open. It was dead with spectators. It had spectators.
So, police, you need to put a blanket in your trunk.
Again, job well done, APB. I hope the guy is good. I saw his bail was like $3,500, so it wasn't that much.
Bless.
So, I'm sure he signed himself out today.
They're like, let me go get Uncle Joe out of jail again.
I hope he got home.
I don't know if his name was Joe, by the way.
Well, also, your weekend, we had the Tigers.
Who?
The Tigers.
I don't know who they are.
A lot of controversy again. Talking about controversial and maybe need some help.
Yeah.
They need some help from the refs, it feels like.
Well, maybe we should bring on all those guests who have so much opinion about what I said last week about the coach.
Okay, so here's my thing.
Let's just say he really proved exactly what I was saying in the fact that there was a lot that went against him and against Auburn that was very unfair. But you gotta work through adversity. You can't just lay down and be like, this isn't fair. And
that's kind of what I said when they came out in that second half. They looked absolute flat. They looked defeated. Like their energy was gone.
Mm-hmm.
I know people talk about momentum, and Georgia's a great second half team, but Auburn they dominated that first half. Yes. And to go from dominating one half to come out the second half and you can't put points on the board, that's a completely different team.
Well, and that's what like sports movies are made for. Like you've got all this adversity, and then you come and have like a Rudy type halftime speech, and then you come out and you save the day, and like they carry you out on your shoulders.
That should have been Freezer's moment. He's overcoming all the objections or roadblocks.
Who was in charge of that halftime speech?
I don't know.
Well, you failed. You failed.
I will say when I watched it live, because a touchdown for the Eagles second half, that was a big thing.
Yep.
Watching it live, I was like, it looked like Arnold got to the line and the guy was punching at the same time. It was like I could have seen it go either way live. Like it can go anywhere. It could be a coin toss. It could be a fumble. It could be a touchdown. However they called it, I was like, I can see it. The day after, they're showing the replays. Of course, ESPN. They're highlighting the line. They got the,
that still shot.
Yeah, when they're showing it like steals, it's like, okay, he got a touchdown. It was a touchdown. And I was like, going into halftime, 17-0 is definitely different than going in 10-7. That's a difference. But as a coach, though, you got to rally your troops. It's like you got to get the energy back.
Yeah, that's when you're like, look at them. They're against us. Like, this is your like. Did you ever see that movie 300?
Yes.
All I've ever wanted is a moment where I'm like, we are Sparta, That was you, Freeze. Like, that was your Spartan moment, and you dropped the ball there.
The most egregious thing that even happened in that game, to me, it wasn't even that touchdown. It was Kirby Smart doing this.
Jordan, listen. I mean, did you see where all the Georgia fans had torn him up?
Man,
not even the Auburn fans, the Georgia fans were like, bro.
He was 1,000% calling the timeout.
Forget his hands. His words were saying, "I'm out." Like, we know what that, and it's a bunch of times. So it's like.
And he said he was clapping, bro. That was not. No one claps.
I love how he even in the post game interview press conference thing, and he's like trying to explain it, and it's just like you're any like when someone just word throw ups,
yeah,
and they're like trying to cover up a lie, and you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever you say.
I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for Freeze not to be fired this year because it felt like it's not his fault. Like he just got.
I mean, yes, he had a lot of bad breaks. And he got worked up, which he should have. And you thought, okay, he's about to stand on business second half. Well,
that's what I hope for.
You know what though?
I was rooting for Auburn. I was like, after that half happened, I'm like, but even on that fumble, Georgia still went from like the 1 yard line all the way to the 100 yard, 99 yards, scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
So like they ended that half scoring going the full length of the field, and then second half they came out and dominated. So I'm like, man, I was rooting for y'all Tigers. I really was rooting for y'all, and y'all just let me down. The one time I'm an Auburn fan, and y'all let me down.
Maybe it was your fault. Maybe you jinxed.
I feel like there was a lot of Tide fans that night rooting for Auburn.
So funny you say that. So I love Auburn. I mean, there was a time where if we lost a game like that, I might have even shed a tear in my younger days because, I came off like that 03-04 season. Was like our junior and senior year of high school, and we went to a lot of games, and we were undefeated, and it was a lot of fun, and like we beat Alabama like 6 years in a row, but because of like that entitlement because I didn't remember the bad times. Like my dad has told me stories where like you'd come out of a game like back in the 80s, and there would be tickets to next week game on the windshield like for free because they were that bad. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget the first game that I was a freshman down there, and we lost. Randy Cox threw 4 interceptions. And I called my dad crying after the game, and I was like, "It's my fault we lost because I'm a student here now and jinxes." And my dad's like, "Listen."
You did not call your dad crying.
I did. I was a child.
You jinxed him.
No, afterwards. After the loss, I cried. I mean, I did. I'm being transparent here. I am, okay? So I called my dad, and he was like, "Listen, you cannot cry over that because you can't lose sleep over Auburn football. Like, if you let it get to you, you're gonna lose a lot of sleep because
that's the truest words."
Okay, so fast forward to this past Saturday, and was I irritated? Absolutely. Was I surprised? Not really. But the number of people that were reaching out to me and like several of them being Alabama fans, and they were they were irate and like appalled and just shook and like, why are you not more upset? And you know what my answer is? Well, it's kind of hard to be real stressed out and upset over a football game when our world is literally crumbling around us. And how, as an Alabama fan, are you giving this much to Auburn as far as like you're so upset for them, and yet you don't care about humans around us? And like, why are we not getting this kind of like across the aisle attention of
everything?
Yeah, like okay, Auburn and Alabama fans are just like mortal enemies, right? And like, but yet we all agree what we saw. We all agree that was trash. Even the Georgia fans were like, yeah, I don't know, say much.
You make a valid point right now.
And then here we are in this political climate, and it's like Alabama fans could see clear as day that Auburn was screwed out of that, and you can't see clear as day that this MAGA is an absolute sham, and that people are being treated inhumanely, and like people are without work, and people are losing health insurance, and like but those lines are drawn so dark you could never see the other side, but you can definitely see where Auburn was screwed out of a football game. I don't know, it's just hard for me to be stressed out about Auburn when I'm so stressed out about the world going on around us.
Valid point, and not to jump off Auburn, which is a great topic.
It is.
But I kind of made that point to someone today because it was an article came out today about Memphis they found some missing shit. Like 40-some kids they found missing. Great story. Good job, Memphis police task force. Good job, TBI, which is Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. But of course, there was a conservative headline: President Trump found missing kids. Yada yada. It's like, dude, Trump had nothing to do with them finding those kids.
He's up there fighting frogs and unicorns in Portland.
He's bailing out Argentina. He's worried about Israel. Yeah. He's worried about Qatar. It's like, if we give Memphis their credit for saying that they're doing work in their own city, it's like we take away the narrative that these cities need the federal government in here. And he just cannot see that reality. It's like we're ignoring things that happen right in front of our face. To me, that kind of hurts me. It's like what's happening. Because I talked to you earlier, and the Chicago raid that happened in apartment buildings. A lot of people still denying that.
Yeah, I saw people commenting saying like, I haven't seen videos. Well, I did.
You haven't looked for them.
I mean, I saw them, and I don't even have Facebook, and I don't even know how to work TikTok.
And also, I would say the raid in Chicago happened at 1 a.m. in the morning. So a raid, all of a sudden, 1 a.m., boom, they crash. You're not going to see that action unless someone was sitting outside there on their stoop at 1 a.m. in the morning. I mean, it wasn't like it was at 8 p.m. in the evening.
Right.
Where everybody outside, people are outside walking up and down the sidewalk. It was while people were asleep.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing that I saw about the Chicago thing, which now it seems like this was a whole setup by not only Trump, but the Republican Party to me, which I feel like needs more attention. So I saw down on his Instagram, he was talking about the apartment building that they raided. It was immigrants that were sent from Texas. And Texas National Guard was one that was sent to Chicago to handle this issue. So I got to dig and find out that it is true. So starting in 2021, 2022, Texas started busing immigrants to Democrat cities.
Yes, I have heard about this.
So Texas, they bust, and they also gave them flew them out to Democrat cities. So apparently since in 2022, they had transported 80,000 immigrants to Democrat cities.
Well, also, that's how they said, and I don't know if it was from Texas, but that's how they were saying, last year or whatever, that's how we have such a large group of Haitian people here now, and that they were bussed in from a state too, like, I don't know if it was Texas, but basically, like, they had too many, so they brought them here and dropped them off. So, same concept.
So, essentially what they're doing is, they're taking these red states. These red states are sending thousands of immigrants into these blue cities. And then we're saying that we need to invade these blue cities to get these immigrants that we sent there from the red states. And we're going to use the red military to go in and get these immigrants out. It's like you're planting evidence on somebody and then you're showing up to bust them for the evidence that you planted. Essentially, you're planting the drugs on them, and then you're kicking in the door,
Yeah.
and you're busting them for a crime that you knew that you planted.
Right.
So if Texas started busting in 2022, and now all of a sudden we're invading these cities to get these immigrants to Texas in, how long has it been playing?
I mean,
Is this a collusion from our states and
sure.
who would be running for president? He knew he was running. He knew he was running again.
They will do anything.
We knew Project 2025 before the election.
Yeah.
So how long had this been playing? Because even not only Texas was sending them, remember, Florida was also sending them. They sent them immigrants to Martha's Vineyard.
I wish someone send me to Martha's Vineyard. I think I would do just fine up there.
So,
if you're listening, please send me to Martha's Vineyard.
They're talking about going to New York. So
well, I did call. We have been calling our representative on the Capitol switchboard line. And I did leave a message that all I want to say is if I get put on some sort of terrorist watch list, y'all know the truth. I just said what needed to be said.
I hope not. What? I don't even know what you said. I don't want that recorded.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, I didn't say anything that bad. I just told the truth. And, but you know, they don't like to hear the truth these days. Like they don't want to hear. Like they only want the good stuff, and there's not any good stuff. So, I'm just saying.
And apparently they say here recently,
call your representatives though. That's really important. I feel like people think, oh, like what's that gonna do? But everything I'm reading says that if you especially if you live in a red state and you're part of this government shutdown, that it is helping when they hear from people. Don't just sit there and be like, I'm mad at the government. I wish they go back to work so we can go back to work. You know, you call them. It's super easy. Like there's scripts. There's even like an app, a 5 calls app or something that helps you do it. But it's very, very. You're not even gonna talk with them. You're just gonna talk to like some random person that works there, and they all hate their jobs. Like you can tell when you talk to them.
And apparently, let's say talking about kids, people do they really care about kids?
No.
They just said today it was reported that a 13-year-old boy was grabbed by ICE in Massachusetts. He was sent to an ICE facility in Virginia. His parents didn't even know where he was until they found out to locate him in the ICE facility. So they grabbed him in one state and took a 13-year-old boy all the way to another state, to a facility. So you talk about the Constitution, there's no due process.
No.
This is literally we're grabbing brown people off the street and just turning them in and just taking kids. So it's like, I don't want to say I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of tired of trying to be rational with people who are not rational, but it's almost getting there. It's like, I'm getting to the point where I do want to call your bullshit. So you really don't care about children. You care about your children.
Or people in general.
You don't care about people.
Yeah.
Because where's your outrage that a 13-year-old boy was grabbed in Massachusetts and his family had to locate him in Virginia, locked up?
I saw something the other day.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, same. I saw something the other day that was like, agree to disagree is for topics like coffee versus tea, not for hate, racism, and bigotry. And like, I'm getting to the point where I'm not arguing with anybody. It's a waste of my time and energy. But at this point, like, there are kind of sides, and it's not even Republican and Democrat. It's like, are you humane or are you not humane? Like, and whatever your religion is or don't have religion or whatever, like, there's lots of people who aren't religious who still try to be good people. So it's like, for the ones that do claim to be Christians and are having arguments about if people deserve health care, if children should be safe or not broken up from their parents or whatever, like, you need to take a good look in the mirror, because this is a fact of something's wrong with your heart inside. Like, if you're good with all this. And I like, and y'all can hate me on TikTok or whatever you need to do to feel better about yourself, but like, period. That's just, there's just not a lot of gray area in that anymore.
So the mayor of that city where their kid got taken from, he said, if the Department of Homeland Security truly believed this arrest was justified, There'll be no reason to take a child and 500 miles away from his home, family, and loyalty. That decision only makes it harder for us to represent him and raise serious questions about access to counsel and basic fairness. And that's what it simply comes down to, basic fairness. And there is none. Right now, you're being targeted with the ground. And all these, to me, white Christians, y'all are for brown people being scooped up. And like, I'm tired of seeing all the so-called Christians who want to sit here and post Bible verses in churches and come join my Sunday service, and you ain't saying nothing about brown folks being scooped up. We're talking about kids being grabbed. Last week we talked about kids being grabbed under beds in the middle of the night in Chicago apartment buildings.
Put in the back of a truck.
And now we're talking about a kid being taken to Massachusetts, grabbed, and taken to Virginia. Where is your outrage at? Where are you mad at?
But they're mad about a football game.
They're mad about everything else but this.
Yeah.
And it's one thing. I'm gonna say she's an elder. She's older than me. It's a black lady. I respect her opinion, and it's one thing that she has said several times to me, and she'll just post that one line like that's it. It's when they show you who they are, believe him. She keeps saying that one line.
That is one of my life mottos, and I might not go around saying it, but I'm always saying it in here. Like, when people show you who they are, believe it. Don't. I'll always sit down and have a conversation with somebody that wants to like. Now, I'm not doing it on the old Facebook. I'm not sitting here and arguing with this person whose name's not even a real name. I'm not doing that. And most of those people, honestly, that are arguing on Facebook would never sit down and have a real conversation because they can't thrive in social situations or have actual conversations. They're only keyboard warriors.
And the things that they're saying, they wouldn't even say to you in person.
No, like would you come up to me and be like, "I hate when you talk"? You know, I mean, it's fine, but I'm just saying, like, people that say stuff on there that they would never say to you in real life.
And I do feel, and so we of course live in a small city. We live in Alabama. We're in a red state.
Yeah.
You know, from our reunion.
Yeah.
A lot of people are looking at what some of our people in our community, our neighborhood, or city. They're watching what you're putting on your on Facebook, on the internet, and you're being judged.
And they're never one thing that you post or share will forever be how they look at you. It doesn't matter that you were always nice to them in school or that you always said hey when you saw each other at Walmart. Now, all you are is this one thing that you posted, shared, whatever, that says, hey, that person that you've always been to me or to you, it's not really how I feel.
There's speaking of our class, a classmate of ours posted today something I made. She commented, and she was talking to someone else.
It was beautiful, by the way.
She was essentially saying, being raised black, you learn to be careful around white people or to be cautious until you learn what their motives are.
Yeah.
And this person, white, commented to her saying that's racist. And it's like, you don't even understand, like, I guess growing up black, because like even with myself, so I'm almost 40, so I still got relatives. I still got relatives that never even went to school with white.
Yeah.
I still got relatives that they went to training.
Yep.
In school, high school, so they never even experienced integration at all.
Yeah.
So when I grew up being black, a lot of things that I was taught is, okay, you need to talk a certain way, you know, look a certain way, walk a certain way, wear your clothes a certain way to impress white people. Because white people are the ones who give you jobs, that give you loans. If you need something, you're going to have to go through someone white to get that. So make sure you present yourself in a certain way to appeal to white people. Even when I got into real estate, it was just 2017. A barber of mine, he's older, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I had a beard at the time. He told me I should shave my beard so that I appear professional to white people. And then this is in 2017. To call that racist is saying that those people that live through a certain time, that they have to like basically be a certain way to be accepted, that is devalued. And I'm like, to me, like, you're just completely overlooking the way people grew up.
Well, even and one thing she said is like, even white people that aren't racist, you still, as a white person, will never know what it's like to walk in the shoes of a black person and what their mindset is and stuff like that. And that's absolutely true. Like, I would never pretend to know what that's like or be like, oh, I know exactly what you mean or anything like that. Um, but I think that people need to be open to having these conversations because what she said took a lot of, I don't know what the word. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Guts, I guess, because she's putting herself out there and being vulnerable with, like, I'm trying to educate you as a black person on what you're saying is incorrect and racist, and you're not listening. Like, you're sitting here telling me that I'm racist, and I personally took what she said as being very valuable. It's something I never looked at that way. You know, I know when all the George Floyd stuff, the Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, there was a lot of spotlight on how, as black people, you have to, especially your sons, you got to talk to your sons about, hey, if a policeman pulls you over or stops you on the street,
I have a conversation.
you don't get to be a smart aleck. You don't get to do that because you never know who's going to take that as you being like, well, whatever. I mean, a bratty teenager, but you don't know who's gonna shoot you for that or or whatever, beat you up. That's heartbreaking. That is absolutely devastating that people are having that conversation with their kids, but you have to. You literally have to. And like, for white people to not understand that, you know, I made the comment that it was the video, got a lot of comments where I was like, freaking white people. I meant that with all my heart and soul.
Don't she know she's white?
I meant, and yes, I know I'm white. And I try my hardest to stand apart from white people because all of our hearts aren't the same. And we should all try and do better than the people before us and the people that stood in the doorways of colleges or that wouldn't let black people use bathrooms or water fountains. Surely to goodness, we want to do better than that.
And what I told someone today,
as white people.
So the woman that we see in the famous photo, the black girl walking in school with a bunch of white crowd screaming at her.
Yeah.
She's 71 years old today.
Right.
Like, we want to.
That wasn't ancient history.
Yeah, it's not.
And you know, I've heard.
It's recent history.
I've heard. I mean, not like in my social circles necessarily, but I've heard people like, "Oh, they just need to get over that." I mean, they didn't know what slavery was like. None of them have ever been slaves. First of all, trashy. Second of all, okay, maybe not. Maybe nobody still living was a slave.
Mm-hmm.
But the civil rights movement was not that long ago. My mom moved here from California in the 70s, and integration happened like a couple years later. Well, she came from California. There was all kinds of people that she went to school with. And then she gets here, and it's nothing but white people. But then all of a sudden, like, we're dropping a bunch of black people in here, and like, she's like, wait, what? I mean, to everybody else, that was insane.
Here's what I feel when we know. We know when they're done with the Hispanics, we know who's next on the list.
Yeah.
That's what we know. It's like I said, it's not about if you're legal here or not, because they just picked up this 13-year-old boy and took him across state.
Actually, I disagree with you because you're not next. You're right now. It's just it's two separate issues. They're scooping these people up because they're not here legally. What they're doing to you guys right now, literally right now in the Supreme Court, they're looking at changing the Voters' Rights Act where they would allow states to redistrict with race not as a factor at all, which would take away the black voice in voting.
The representation in the House. Which Alabama's state map has been unconstitutional for years now.
Well,
because technically, per Alabama, our demographic, we should have 2 minority candidates within the House.
So the
but
state
we only have 1 right now.
And that would probably get rid of that 1. And the state that's in the Supreme Court right now is Louisiana. And my understanding is if the Supreme Court says, all right, we're axing this part of the Voters' Right Act, there will be no black representation in the state of Louisiana at all.
There was a representative this year that said interracial marriage in the state flag. I mean, that's where we at in America. They keep acting like civil rights was so long ago, but we're still in this place.
Look at the Politico article that came out with
The young Republicans.
You know, why not? Let's just throw it on there today.
That we're young Republicans.
If people seriously say racism is not alive, and I don't even want to say alive, it is thriving in certain areas, in certain groups.
You know what? And I like when
you're the problem.
And when stuff like that comes up, what you get is on that side is whataboutisms. You have a whole group, and they say young Republicans. These are 20 and 30-year-olds. It ain't even like kids.
Right.
These are grown-ups.
We're not talking about like beta club.
Yeah, this is grown. This is grown people. Some in their 30s.
Right.
With this language.
I mean, they're not ancient Republicans.
So that comes up, and then what happens is, what about? Why can't you not just say that was wrong? They should not say that. That was like terrible.
And like, okay, would you not, if nothing else, would you not sit there and look like, do I really want to be associated with this group?
Yes.
You know, I don't think I do. Not that there's not been 700 other things this year alone that would make you say, do I really want to be associated with this group?
Somebody had nerve to me when I saw it. I just posted it. I said, well. And someone came to my comment and said, what about Jay, somebody who was running for the Attorney General of Virginia?
What about Bozo the Clown?
That's what I said. I said, who? I never even heard that name
What
before.
does that have to do with the prostitute in China?
I'm worried about Nashville and Alabama. The AG race in Virginia, I care much about that as the AG in North Dakota and Nebraska. Like, that has nothing to do with me. It's not even my radar. But then I started seeing Jaden Vance brought him up too. So, okay, this is what y'all do. Y'all have this come up, and then it become like conservative talking points. It's like, hey, they bring this up, bring this guy up. Let's point him out. But liberal people, okay, he said that. Okay, bye. That's not what the F thing is.
And I love how you just said liberal people. And can I say that before Trump, I seriously sat on the fence all day long and was a proud moderate, maybe even like libertarian leaning. I could never in my life associate with that group ever again. I could not vote for a Republican janitor. I couldn't,
Well, you don't see any Democrats saying don't release the F-thing. We say, hey, okay, such on, okay, cool, put it out. Like, we just want it out.
Honestly, and what if we do release it? It's not like he loses his job. He still is our whatever he is. It's just, why are y'all so against, and why is it not so many red flags that he's literally throwing, like, it's like Mario Brothers with like fireballs and those little flowers that came up and shoot little fire, and then like King Koopa. I mean, that's what it feels like these days. I really love Super Mario 3, by the way. That was such a fun game. But maybe I'm gonna find myself a Nintendo and get back into that. Anyway, side note.
What about this was crazy? Instead of just saying that was wrong, we gotta say what about this? What about that? So when you say that, to me, you're co-signing that behavior
for sure.
And like I said, once again, she's the same lady on that post. They show you who they are, believe.
Yeah.
I'm like, at this point, it's like, it's fitting to get to the point where I stop trying to be rational with you. I'm going to tell you how I feel. There's going to be feelings. And this
is why I do not engage with our lovely and some not so lovely followers.
Well, here's the thing I would say too, like I said, to wrap us up.
Yeah.
Our classmate who posted that, she also posted a quote within that whole thread. And the quote that she posted was MLK, which for someone else had brought up MLK within this. And I want to say, I do hate how conservatives now, they want to use MLK when it fits their narrative.
Yeah.
But then they take Charlie Kirk, who said MLK was an awful person.
Yeah.
And they also want to say that he was terrible and civil rights was terrible. So, like, which one is it? Y'all like MLK? Do you not like MLK? And if you say MLK is awful, that kind of sums up what your goal was and what type of person you are. But what she quoted was an MLK quote. And it says, I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white martyrs. I almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro great stumbling block in his stride towards freedom is not the white citizen council or the KKK, but the white moderate who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative space, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice. And I say that we're saying the history of America, brown people have always had to watch over their shoulder for white people they can't trust, had to learn those white people they can't trust, and we also had to learn the white people we can trust. We had to learn who the allies are, who we can go to. If something goes down, what white people will have our back. And a lot of y'all are showing us who not to trust, who to watch our back for. That's what I think is being shown more and more today. That's the interaction we got from some people in our reunion. Like they're looking at some of our own, people that went to school with. I don't know about him. I don't know about her. And I don't think that they realize that's the image that they're portraying is that you will not be on our side if they ever come for us.
And that's a perfect summary of when I said freaking white people. That's exactly what I meant because I can't change the color of my skin just like you can't change the color of your skin. But what I can do is work hard to make sure people know that I'm an ally. And there have been times where maybe I didn't speak up or speak out because I thought that it's not really my business. That does not recently. Now I'm speaking out about everything, but like I might have thought that's not my business, that's not my place. But hear me when I say that at this point, your silence is the same thing as siding with them. If you're not speaking up, and I'm not saying you have to go seek out ways to be controversial, but if you see something, say something. Don't let it be a question of where your heart is. If you truly are a Christian and you truly represent Jesus, or even if you don't and you're just trying to be a good person, let these people know these people are all our fellow citizens. We're all children of God. Let these people know that you're with them, not against them.
That note right there.
Cool.